I entered my first ever Ubers Pokemon Draft League. Ubers is a term that we competitive Pokemon players use to describe normally banned Pokemon. Which Pokemon are Ubers or not tends to vary from format to format. Smogon Singles has a long list of them, VGC Ubers are the restricted Pokemon, and Draft League, things get complicated. My name is Lantern Comic Nerd, coach of your Dallas-Fort Worth Bisharp, and in this video I will be showing off the team I am using to try and win the King's Crown Draft League's second season. Stay tuned to the end to see the full team. Also, quick side note, before I get into it, I'm a little sick at the time of recording this still. Like, I'm recovering from it at the very least, so if my voice has a bit of a thing to it, I apologize. So how does an Ubers Draft League work? Reminder, a Pokemon Draft League is when individuals, called coaches, each take turns selecting a unique Pokemon and battling each other once a week until a champion is crowned. In this Ubers Draft League, each player is allowed to use 1 to 2 normally banned Pokemon on their draft. These Ubers are rated by essentially tiers. Highest tier is Platinum, second highest is Gold, below that is Silver, and lowest rated Ubers are Bronze. But there's a limit for each tier of Ubers. If your Uber is a Platinum, that's the only Uber you get, but the other tiers let you draft a max of 2 Ubers with some restrictions on where the second can come from. If you draft a Gold Uber, your second Uber cannot be higher than Bronze, and if you draft a Silver Uber, the second Uber must also be Silver or be Bronze. Assuming you draft a second Uber at all, that is, because you are not required to do so. Alright, now that we have the system out of the way, it's time to show off my first pick in the draft. Returning from my recent run at the North American International Championships, say hi to Frisbee the Lunala. Lunala is a very solid starting point. It's incredibly bulky with a very versatile move pool, making it slightly unpredictable, which is good. Its typing is admittedly a little rough, but it's not so bad that it keeps Lunala from being a massive threat. It's primarily a setup sweeper, but not terrible as a breaker either. It's a Platinum tier Uber, so it's the only one you get, but I can definitely work with that, especially with all my experience using this mon as of late. After a lot of deliberation, I ended up getting Urshifu Dark as my Terra Captain and round 2 pick. Terra Captains in this league function exactly the same as they did during WVL in my last season. So check out that playlist if you're interested in hearing more about it. I'll put the link somewhere. Urshifu Dark is what I like to call Breaker Incarnate. It's especially perfect with Lunala because it can deal with the Ghost and Dark types that Lunala is 4 times weak to, and with Terrestrialization, it can become a crazy sweeper as well. Most often, a stab typing will be the Terra, but Terra Poison is also one I could see myself bringing a lot. Round 3, I needed some speed, and badly. With not a lot of options left that fit my starting 2, I settled on Cinderace. Cinderace is a really fast Pokemon that walks the line between Breaker and Utility incredibly well, with a barrage of utility including Will-O-Wisp, Super Fang, U-Turn, and his signature move Court Change, along with high-powered stab moves to draw from, like Pyro Ball, Gunk Shot, and High Jump Kick. While you may argue that only one of those is stab, Cinderace has the Libero ability, one which is identical to Protean, and Cinderace is actually uniquely suited as the only single-typed user of this ability, meaning it can spam its Fire Stab as much as it wants without Libero changing its type. As a reminder for all you unfamiliar with the term, Stab just is an acronym for Same Type Attack Bonus. Essentially, whenever a Pokemon uses moves that are the same as their type, they deal 50% more damage. That said, once Cinderace clicks anything that's not a fire move, the type change stays till it switches. One last thing to say about Cinderace before moving on. This Pokemon is one of my favorite ones to purposely mispronounce. There are going to be a lot of times where I call this Wabbit Cinderace during the season, and I will not apologize for it. You have been warned. Next, I grabbed Primarina. It walks the line between Breaker and Bulky Pivot like a champ. It's a nice bulky water and fairy type, which gives me multiple useful resists I needed. In particular, water, ice, fire, and dragon. But also, very importantly, fighting and dark. Dark being especially important once again, due to Lunala being incredibly weak to them. Plus, it gives me access to some useful support moves such as Encore, Flip Turn, and Haze, and gives me a special breaker that I am in sore need of at this time. Round 5 might seem like a weird one. There weren't a lot of steel types left and I was low on options, but I thought the 8-point Tinkaton was an absolute bargain that I just had to take advantage of. Tinkaton functions very similarly to Screamtail in that it is basically all bark with very little bite. In essence, it's a pure support mon, providing me with everything from Stealth Rocks to Dual Screens to Thunder Wave to Encore. This gremlin is very much looking to make mischief of our matches this season, and gives me a much needed Fairy Resist, which I didn't have, and gives me Speed Control, which is always very helpful. Round 6, I picked up Iron Jugulus, the surprise breakout star from last season. Jug still does the same exact things as it did before, fills a speed tier that I'm missing, gives me a ground immunity, a second dark type, and a lot of coverage. Also is an excellent user of choice items and booster energy, packing stabs in Dark Pulse, Hurricane, and Air Slash, coverage in Earth Power, Flamethrower, Hydro Pump, and the ever-reliable Focus Mist. This time, Jug supports Lunala through its attacking of opposing ghost types, and Free Marina through destruction of grass types. Round 7, I picked up my final physical breaker. Enter the ground and ice type Mamoswine. Mamoswine helps here as its coverage gives me the last bits of super effective coverage I am lacking, particularly blowing through opposing electric and steel types that I can't always hit. Mamoswine being weak to those steel types isn't great, but it is what it is and is the best that I could get. Mamoswine does not do much other than click buttons, but on this team that's really all it needs to do. The penultimate round draft for me was Terra Grafire. I did initially want my final pick to be the Terra Captain, but I had to settle for Grafire due to budget. Grafire is a fast pivot Pokemon and support oriented. Its move pool isn't especially deep, but it still has some handy tools. Encore, Parting Shot, Switcheroo, and Taunt are all incredibly helpful. Made even more effective thanks to Grafire's Prankster ability. While Grafire doesn't have the best offensive moves, it can certainly get by with what it has thanks to what it does have, including U-Turn, Knockoff, Gunk Shot, Low Kick, and Acrobatics. All of these moves made even more viable thanks to Grafire also having either Poison Touch for some mix of offensive utility, or Unburdened stats that can run Swords Dance for a sweeping approach. Though its barely existent bulk stats make the latter tricky. Thanks to Terrestrialization, it definitely could pull something out of its hat. My last pick ended up being Appleton. I was getting concerned by my lack of fire, ground, and especially water resists on my team, and Appleton provided all three. Also, it provided a defensive piece to temporarily fall back on if necessary. I did want this to be my second Terra Captain, but it couldn't fit points-wise, so I'm stuck with base Appleton. Which isn't a bad thing for me, because I am known to be Appleton's strongest soldier. I've drafted the thing 4 times now. It is in fact tied with my most drafted Pokemon, Empoleon, for that. It's got a basic bulky grass move pool with Leech Seed, Giga Drain, and Leaf Storm, although it does have an extra trick thanks to Apple Acid always dropping the target special defense, Dragon Stab, including Draco Meteor and Dragon Pulse, and reliable healing thanks to Recover. And that's the team. Huge thanks to Frosty Random, Kara, Just Blizzy, Crepsicule, Saki Dude, Nebula, and Rage for helping me draft my team. And also thanks to you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, I recommend you subscribe to my channel as well as the other coaches in the league. These Wi-Fi drafts are a lot of commitment to do on YouTube, especially for something we can't guarantee is going to do well on our channels. So the continued support would mean a lot to me and the other coaches, as most of us are smaller creators. Everyone's channel is linked in the description, so please go check them out. If you want to do more to support me as a creator, or just want to see more content than what I post here, I recommend you follow me on Twitch, where I do live stream every now and then. I often play non-Pokemon related games over there, and am very engaging with my chat, so feel free to stop by. Link is once again in the description. I will be uploading all of my battles for KCDL every Sunday afternoon CST, and all the other coaches will upload on either Saturday or Sunday, with my Week 1 battle going up September 7th. I hope you're as excited as I am, so till next week everyone, Lantern Commie Nerd of Sector 2814, signing off. Peace. Bye!